I am first going to speak about the present, and then progressively I'm going to speak about the future. Because if I speak only about the future, you will find that what I say is not useful, because you are not going to see what you can do with it. So I will begin with something that you can do something with, okay? And especially the people who work in the educational fields. I will speak first about learning, teaching, and so on. So I will start from the point where we are. I mean, everybody is, or almost everybody is connected on Orkut, on Facebook, on Twitter, and so on. Everybody has access to Wikipedia. We are all interconnected, but there is a huge flow of information, and we are not sure about what we can do with this immense sea of information. So I think that the first goal is to learn to have a responsible attitude in front of this flow of information. It is a new situation, because before the current state of affairs, before the digital medium, there was I don't know, churches, schools, media that manage the flow of information, that create the information and send it to you and say to you, this is the truth, you can believe this, you can build your knowledge from this and this and this. So there is less, I mean, in the past there was less than today this problem of the responsibility of learning and of choosing which information is good for you. Okay. So I call this the problem of personal knowledge management. The first step of the personal knowledge management is attention management. You have to define your interests. You have to choose your priority, to define your priorities. You have to describe for yourself what is your area of expertise and what you want to learn. This should be done explicitly. Okay, this is the first step. If you don't know what you want to learn, you will go nowhere. Okay. So once you have defined what you want to learn, you have to stay focused, because the new environment is very distracting. There are lots of information popping up every time, okay, and from everywhere. So you have to trust your own choices and keep your work inside what you have defined, what is your priority. Focused. And of course, you have not to stay focused uniquely. You have also to open your mind a little bit to understand the big picture, to understand the context, to understand the movement of the world around you, the evolution of culture. Okay? This is attention management. The second step is based on the first step. The second step is the connection to valuable sources. I am speaking about sources, not about platforms or media. The environment is multi-platform, multimedia. I don't care about the platforms. What is important is the source. The sources are the people and the institutions. Okay? And these people and institutions can express themselves on YouTube, on Twitter, on their blogs, everywhere. Okay? The choice is the choice of the people. Who are you going to trust? What institutions are you going to trust? You decide. You decide. Okay? There is no outside or higher authority that can say this is good and this is bad, this is true and this is false. You have to learn to feel, to recognize, to perceive what is relevant for you and what is not relevant for you. The third step is to gather all the flow of information that is coming from the sources that you have chosen. The sources that you have chosen from the definition of your priorities and so on. Okay? So you gather all this information and then you filter. You have already filtered the sources, of course. But what is coming from the sources, you have to filter again, because you have redundancy, you have some information that are not quite relevant for you, and so you have to filter again. This notion of filtering is very important. You have different kinds of automatic filtering, like social recommender systems, or a social filtering system like you have, for example, on Amazon and on other, you have this on Facebook also. You know, the platform is recommending to you such book or such person because it says that, this is close from your interest and so on. But you have also to do the filtering manually, let's say, with your own mind. The fifth step is categorization, because categorization or classification or organization. If you don't categorize the information, you are not going to remember it. Memory is based on categorization. Okay? And you categorize not only for you, you categorize also for others. What was previously the work of specialists, like librarians, for example, or people specialists in documentation, they were organizing the documents and cataloging it and classifying it. Now this relies on you. This relies on us. It's not only that we are all authors and all readers and all journalists, we are also all librarians. Okay? This is the new situation of the new state of collective intelligence. So there are a lot of systems to categorize. Tagging is very common, or hashtags on Twitter. I'm not going into the different kinds of categorization, but it is a very important step. Once you have categorized, you have to record the information for long-term memory. For example, you can register interesting websites on Delicious or other social bookmarking sites. You can use platforms like Zotero or like Evernote or like Mendeley or like Site-U-like. Some of these long-term memory platforms or information organization platforms are specially designed for researchers and academics. So I encourage you to use this and to teach this to your students. All these long-term memory systems are at the same time personal and social or collective. So you participate to the organization of the memory of large group of people, okay? And you benefit from the organization of information made by all the people that are using the same platform as you. Okay. Once you have done all this job, you can make a synthesis. For example, you write a blog post or you improve an article on Wikipedia, okay? Because you learn really when you have made your own synthesis for yourself with your own words, okay? And at the same time, when you are doing this, you are doing useful synthesis not only for you, but for other people. And also you are entering into the conversation, because your blog post or what you have written on a wiki is read by other people. And you can signal this blog post, for example, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Orkut, and all the social media, and the conversation begins. People are responding, and you are responding to the responses, and so on. So you have a kind of creative dialogue. And you have also a feedback about your synthesis. So you see, usually the feedback is given by the professor. Here, the feedback is given by the social environment, like in the real life. And once you have done this, you go back to the first step. Are my priorities really relevant? Have I defined my interests in the right way? Are the sources that I have chosen the good sources? Is there other interesting sources? I can cancel some subscriptions, or I can unfollow some people or defriend some people. The aspect of defriending or unfollow is as important as following or being friend. Okay. So this is the personal management cycle. This is the personal responsibility of the person, if I say so. I insist here on the personal aspect because usually people think that I believe that collective intelligence is something that is above us all, but not at all. It emerges from the interaction of personal cognition, okay, of personal learning, of personal communication. Then you have collective intelligence. The basis is personal.